Intrigued? Look at this operating room. In 1962, neurosurgeons used this exact kind of stark clinical setup to perform a radical procedure on a patient suffering from severe, uncontrollable seizures. This diagram shows the mechanics of that surgery. They went right down the middle and severed the corpus callosum, the primary neural highway connecting the two halves of the brain. The brain was physically split into two disconnected pieces. A bizarre side effect followed. When they tested the patient, the isolated left side of the brain could speak normally. The right side was totally mute. Yet, if handed a pen, that mute right side could draw exactly what it was seeing. Because the two sides could no longer talk, the patient's own hands would sometimes literally fight over simple daily decisions, like picking which shirt to wear or which item to grab off a shelf. These behaviors reveal the design of the human mind, an aggressively compartmentalized machine built from two highly specialized halves. We now know the left hemisphere processes sequential logic, mathematics, and speech. Meanwhile, the right hemisphere is tuned to handle spatial awareness, emotional responses, and broader context. This rigid division of labor is absent in the rest of the animal kingdom. If you look at the brains of dogs, cats, or chimpanzees, they remain highly symmetrical. Because their brains are symmetrical, those animals have a roughly 50-50 split in their paw dominance. Half of them favor the left, half favor the right. Humans are a unique outlier. Nearly 90% of our species is right-handed, a bias that perfectly mirrors our extreme brain asymmetry. Curious, this points toward an extreme evolutionary pressure that forced the human brain to abandon symmetry and drastically compartmentalize itself. To find the cause, we have to rewind about 4 million years, back to when early humans first began walking upright on two legs. This schematic highlights the trade-off of bipedalism. Walking upright requires a narrower pelvis, resulting in a restricted birth canal. Meanwhile, a growing skull trying to pass through this physical bottleneck became an evolutionary impossibility. So biologists call this the obstetrical dilemma. Our ancestors hit a wall where the human skull could not get any larger without endangering both mother and child. Nature's workaround was to eliminate redundancy. Instead of keeping duplicate neural networks in both halves of the brain, it began deleting the extra copies to save space. By offloading specific tasks to just one side of the skull, the brain created physical room for brand new neural networks without increasing its overall size. We can trace why the left brain specifically became the specialized center for our most advanced traits, like logic and language. This illustrates the combat theory. To protect their heart during a fight, early humans rotated their left torso backward. Because brains are crosswired, the left hemisphere controls that active right hand, eventually becoming the specialized center for fine motor skills. Building a stone tool requires a precise, sequential series of strikes. The left brain mastered organizing these physical actions into a logical, step-by-step order. This hardware, designed to organize physical movements, provided the exact architecture we eventually used to organize sounds into words and premises into logic. We often treat human language and logic as high-level thoughts disconnected from the physical body. But human communication originated as physical science. Before we spoke, we used our right hands to make gestures and shape tools, building the foundations of syntax through movement. This proportional map of the brain shows where the real work happens. The area lighting up is the cerebellum. It holds nearly 70% of all neurons in your brain, dedicated entirely to processing physical movement. The complexity of motor control is why modern AI can easily write an essay, but struggles to coordinate a robot's walk or manipulate small objects. Our highest intellectual abilities emerged from these same pathways. Logic is a byproduct of the brain's ability to manage high-precision, sequential motor control. The split-brain patients from the beginning demonstrate the mechanics behind our own minds. Consciousness does not reside in a single, magical seat located in one specific area of the brain. Instead, it is an aggregated experience. It emerges as sensory information filters through highly specialized, distinct compartments that each add their own flavor to our awareness. Human consciousness is the result of a severe biological limitation that forced the mind to divide, conquer, and specialize to survive.